Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football, presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute podcast studio up here on Veterans Memorial Boulevard for another episode of the show where we continue the Top 21 countdown. Our studio is located next door to Matt Bauer's Ford dealership up here. Make sure you come and check them out. Say hi to us while you're around the way, or check Matt out at one of his many locations. He will get you the best prices, the best customer care, the best car buying experience that you can have. Make sure you are buying from my guy, Matt Bowers, if you are buying a new or pre-owned car. All right, we're going to continue the Top 21 countdown. We are up to player 14, and that brings us to our first segment presented by Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Make sure you hit them up if you are in the market for insurance. And if you are looking them up, make sure you are hitting up the Earhart Agency branch. They will take care of you. Those are my guys up there. Tell them that we sent you their way. All right, so next guys on our list is kind of the untapped potential realm of the list. Guys that could go up, guys that could go down, guys that have been around for a little while. Each one of them, I think this list could flip too. I think it could flip very easily if Brandon Staley's scheme suits Alontae Taylor as well as I think it's going to suit him. He came in at 14. Ruiz came in at 13. And Pete Werner came in at 12. It kind of feels appropriate that these guys are on the list together.
Well, yeah, of the three, I mean, to answer the question, how much untapped potential remains for all three, I mean, I think we just naturally give that to Alontae Taylor.
Yeah.
Like the some of the most untapped potential on the team, even though it's his fourth year with the team. It feels like he's shown us glimmers of it.
I think one of the reasons for that too is just that it's just he's been the one on the most unstable ground.
Yeah,
plays one position, moves to another, figures out how to play that position. He's making a lot of plays. Injuries happen. He's back at the other position. I think that his circumstances have to be part of that conversation.
No question. And look, we the previous show we talked about Brian Brzez's ranking, and that's one where I flipped. We talked about how all these guys are in a similar category, but Brzez is a guy I had 13th because I feel like he's shown the high highs more, and then I had Alontae at 17th. You and B kind of flipped and had Alontae higher and Brzez lower, and I think that's fair too because I think Alontae's ceiling is probably higher.
Yeah.
And if it all works for Alontae, I think he's probably the more dynamic player who affects more. So that's one of those things that makes these rankings tough. But with Alontae, a lot of it is, I mean, untapped potential isn't even an insult. Untapped potential is something when you see a lot of potential in someone, you feel like there is still this much more ceiling for him. I think it's an interesting question with Ruiz and Werner, whether they still have that or not. Alontae absolutely has that. And look, not only has he been talking about how he's going to like his role in Brandon Staley's defense, but Brandon Staley said it too. And he does not seem like a guy who overinflates or exaggerates. He brought up the name Jalen Ramsey too. He brought up other guys who've played the star position. Why am I forgetting the other superstar receiver that he worked with the Chargers? Devin, I'm drawing a total blank here. Ward. No, Denzel Ward. No,
the safety, Derwin James.
Derwin James, got him. Drawing. But I mean, he brought up those names while talking about the role he wants Alontae Taylor to play in this defense, so he's not hiding away from it. He said, yeah, that's the kind of potential this guy has. I want him all over the field, making plays, attacking. And I think Alontae's gonna love it, but he has to do it on a consistent basis. But there's absolutely no question that he has tons of untapped potential still.
Whether it happens here or somewhere else, whether it's this season, next season, whatever, I do want to see this player in a situation that becomes stabilized just for my personal football curiosity, because you look at him and all the things he can do. Like, there is just such a tantalizing package of skills possessed within him. I just don't think that we've seen it. Like, I just don't think it's been in a position. I've mentioned this before, like, there's a stat like for the disruptive plays and the 33rd team does it, and he was leading the list in that. It was like pass breakups, quarterback hurries, quarterback
the 3
hits.
sacks in week 1 last year. Sacks, remember?
Yeah. He was just in like such a varied role, and he was doing really well at it. And I thought he was been an impactful player for the defense, and then he just got yanked out of it and put back on the outside. And he's told me that he's prepared for both this season, so maybe that helps. He feels like he's ready. He feels like he's ready to do dual duty, that he approached it with the right mindset, because It was communicated to him clearly early enough in the process that like you are going to be doing these things instead of like you are doing this. And then so he put everything in the one position. And then the 1 year before that, it was the competition. And so like maybe that helps. We'll see.
I do worry though. I mean, you said your football curiosity wants to see him consistently in one place, playing one defense in a defined role. And that's very clearly not happening yet unless it happens over the course of time. This is his third different, role in 3 years and for a new system. So there will be another adjustment period. And it's a shame that he has to keep going through adjustment periods, but the vision feels great.
Yeah, but like, look, if he's prepared for it and then you do this, you re-sign, this system works, the team's good, and you're just in it for a while. I just want to see him get his feet under him in something where it's like, this is how you are being used, and then you can do that, and then you go into an offseason and prepare. You come back the next season, it's the same thing, and then you can start building on something. I don't think he's really had the opportunity to build on anything. But look, for him, regardless of all that and everything else, like this is a contract year for him. And the opportunity's there. Like, this is it for him to get paid, whether it's here or by somebody else. He needs to make that happen. Let's talk about Ruiz a little bit.
Is there any untapped potential
I feel like he's a little bit, is what he is, but like you get into a better situation with maybe healthier offensive line. I think that can help. I think the circumstances were tough on everybody on the O-line last year. Just all the injuries going in and out. McCoy's missed a lot of time. That's probably impacted Ruiz a little bit each and every season. But yeah, I kind of feel like we know what Cesar is at this point. And same with Pete. I
lumped them together. I can't even remember what order I ranked them in, but I put them neck and I mean they're kind of the same for me in this category of yes, still good players, still top 10 potential talent players, but a little is what they're very different than Alontae for me in this sense. In that maybe we're shortchanging them. Maybe there is still more to come. I thought we still had untapped potential with both of these guys up until maybe even a year ago.
Yeah.
And I thought that Clint Kubiak's system was going to be great for Ruiz, and in a sense it was when everybody was healthy. They were all thriving on the.
He was the one guy
line.
that played his best under Doug Marone.
Everybody
else didn't.
That's crazy. But he's such an athletic guy. He's still young. I was just looking up his age. He's still just turned 26 on June 14th. It's crazy.
He's only 26.
Just turned 20. He was 25 the last time we spoke to him. He was 25 years old still.
Is he older or younger than Shuck?
I think Shuck's about to turn 26.
Okay. All right.
I think if that's right. Yeah.
That's just insane to think about, like through those terms. Yeah.
They're like months apart in age. Cesar Ruiz and Tyler Shuck. Gosh.
And it feels like Ruiz has been here forever.
I know.
He's on a second contract.
He should have untapped potential, but I don't know that third offensive system in 3 years is what brings it out. Although, if this offensive line stays healthy and intact, he should be able to thrive. And the same thing with Werner. Like, there was a time when I thought he was going to make a leap, like when he had the 100 tackles in 10 games a couple years ago, and then he's just kind of stayed, not worse, but stayed the same ever since. He doesn't sack the quarterback. He doesn't intercept passes. He doesn't make those dynamic game-changing plays. So they're both assets. Look where we have them ranked on this team. I think we all pretty much agreed with this ranking. But can they become top 10 guys still? That would sure help this team. We don't think about these guys as the young, up-and-coming part of the future players, but it would go miles if either one of them broke into another tier beyond their current tier.
Yeah, I don't know that they're foundational. I don't know that they're young and up-and-coming or whatever, but once you get your foundation down, like, it's a good deck and a good porch maybe off the back. Like, they're essential. They're good pieces to the house. They make the house better, but I don't know that you're building the house around them. And yeah, I like both of them. I like Pete Werner. I like Ruiz. I like Werner, I think, a little bit more. But is he the Mario Davis? I don't think so. And I don't think I see that in the future for him either. But he's a good, strong player. And I think what the Saints are lacking are more of these guys. Like, there aren't a lot of these guys. Yeah, there aren't a lot of, like, just solid in the middle type guys that are consistent, that are fine, that are, it's just they don't have enough of them. There aren't enough Pete Werners on this defense. they need a couple more. And if they had them, I think they'd be a little bit better team. We're going to hit a quick break, and we will be back with more Countdown right after this. The Ochsner Orthopedics Walk-In Clinic is now open. Located at 1201 South Clearview Parkway, across from the Elmwood Shopping Center, this clinic provides convenient same-day care for a variety of orthopedic and sports injuries. No referral or appointment needed. Whether you need care for strains, sprains, fractures, sports injuries, or muscular pain, the team of orthopedic specialists offers care for patients 5 and older. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Homa, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number 1 grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. Looking for the best insurance coverage at the lowest price? Look no further than Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. They are a local independent insurance agency right here in New Orleans, specializing in home, flood, and auto insurance. At Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, their dedicated team will shop every available carrier in the market, ensuring you get the most comprehensive coverage at the lowest possible price. Why settle for less when you can have the best? Trust Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, to protect what matters most to you. I do. I've been a client of theirs since 2021. Call them today at 504-326-6526 or visit them online at Protected by Chabert. That's 504-326-6526. Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, your local insurance experts. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County peach whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide strawberry whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86-proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for our next topic, presented by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Make sure you go check them out up on Betts. They got a lot of great food up there and great atmosphere. Go check them out. Next on our list, number 11, Taliese Fuaga, ranking 11th. I don't know if I feel great about this one, but I feel like when I look at the rest of the list, it's kind of where he has to go. I think he could be way higher. I think 11th kind of speaks to maybe a few things with the team. I think he has potential to be top 5, but I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
I don't know on a normal list when the team's a little bit better that he's 11th on that list either. But I'm okay with it.
It's kind of fitting to have him. You're not in the top 10 yet. You have to wait outside the top 10.
Yeah. And he kind of, I guess like putting him here, he does kind of feel like that separator between lists. But I don't know that he's much different than like at this moment, like a Ruiz, like coming off of last season. I feel like they kind of had like similar type seasons. Yeah. But the potential there is crazy. It's through the roof, and getting him back at his natural position, I think, is a good spot for him. So he's 11th on our list.
It's crazy because these lists are always a really tough balance between what have you done and what are you about to do. But that separation is getting more and more and more. Like there were some years where if you said, who are the best assets this team has and who are the best players this team has, would be the same ranking. Like back in Michael Thomas and younger DeMario Davis and Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara, like they were top 5 and they were top 5. Now, if you say, who are your best assets, Tali, Fuaga, and Kelvin Banks are in my top 5.
Yes. Yeah.
But they haven't done it yet. And Fuaga probably did not grade out any better than Cesar Ruiz last year.
I just looked, and this isn't the end all be all, but it's a barometer at least of how people judge them. Fuaga from PFF had a 65.7 grade, and Ruiz was at 67.6.
That doesn't. That's fair. And Fuaga didn't blow the doors off the what's the expression? Blow the doors off the place last year? Blow the doors off the hinges last year? Like, I didn't think, oh my God, game changer. Like this, I think he's probably going to be solid plus good. I don't necessarily know that he's going to be the next breakout star, all pro caliber guy. I would love to think that potential still exists with him. But I mean, even if his career has to be a little better than Cesar Ruiz based on the investment, I think. I like him better at right tackle than left tackle. I'm glad they made that move. That's where he was in college. I mean, Pro Bowl alternate caliber player, maybe even like Eric McCoy level player is in his future, and that would be just tremendous for this team. But I actually think I'd buy more stock in Kelvin Banks ending up at a higher tier eventually, and him being more somewhere between McCoy, Ruiz, how they're looked at.
And to be fair to Tally, I don't feel like he got blown off the hinges much last year either, as the blocker. Like he looked okay, but there was inconsistencies. Yeah, I mean, and I think that was the thing with him, is that like some weeks he looked like an outstanding pass blocker, but then the run blocking wasn't there, and some weeks the pass blocking was spotty, but the run blocking was really good. I think consistency will help him a lot. I think health will help him a lot. As far as ranking assets, I was trying to think of that. Top 3, both of them, I think. With
me and Kevin did a members only pod, and they were two. Banks and Fuaga were our 1 and 2.
I think I want to put Chris in there, but I think I would probably put these two guys 1, 2, and Chris 3. I think because also, of where the team's at. But I think factoring
Chris
in
has to get paid soon, and I mean, like
if
these guys,
If we're saying quarterback set, team can maybe win soon, I probably put Chris ahead of them.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, where they're at, where this team's at, I think their top 2 assets are these 2 guys. And I think they'll both get there. I
do too.
I think Tally and Banks by the end of next season, I think they can both very easily be top 5 guys.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I expect it. Like, we have to be fair in our rankings like this and say you haven't actually shown us anything. We don't want to look silly next year. And I mean, Ruiz is a good example. Ruiz has never gotten quite past this 13th level, even though he was a first-round pick and immediately started. So you got to show it before you get there. But I will be surprised if we're not doing this list next year and these guys aren't both top 6.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised.
And they should be. I mean, they absolutely should be. And
maybe there's even more for Fuaga. I mean, it is entirely still in the realistic outcomes that Fuaga just had a rookie year where he learned a lot, got stronger, has a full NFL offseason, goes back to his normal position, and kills it this year. That's a realistic outcome.
And it can't be overstated how effed it was on the offensive line last year. Gosh. It was a very, very tough position to play at last year. So, yeah, I'm still
Does
up.
effed mean Fuaga'd?
Not in this case. Well, Fuaga, yeah, I mean, Fuaga got Fuaga on some of that stuff. Moving on to our next one, presented by Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey and Chilton County Peach Blend. We're in the top 10, and the next guy's on our list.
Yeah, I know. These lists are impossible.
I hate Taysom here at 10, just given where he's at, but talent-wise, it's tough. Grinderson's at 9, Tyron's at 8. Let's just go in reverse order, starting with 10. How do you feel about that one?
I don't know. We ranked Taysom 10th, and 11th, and I could have left him off the list on a different team. I mean, I don't know what. I don't know how healthy he's going to be. I don't know if I'm not 100% sure he's playing this year. I don't know how big of a role this team has planned for him. Last year, I knew all those things, and I think B had him like number 2 on his list, or 4, like
fair,
some ridiculous high. What was it, 4? And the rest of us had him like 7th and 8th, and then he did it. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week last year. The NFC Offensive Player of the Week in that ridiculous game. There were moments last year where he was as important as anyone on this offense, and now he's older. Now he's more injured. Now I don't know that I have an offensive coordinator who flew to visit him in the offseason and plans to base it. I mean, last year Taysom Hill was around more than ever. This year he was around less than ever. It's an impossible ranking, and I hope he lives up to it, but I don't feel good about it.
I had Gotcha on my list at the bottom instead of Taysom. I didn't have Taysom on my list at first, and like I'm going through it, and it's like this is extremely problematic if I leave him off based on health. Like I was going to leave him off based on health, but then if I leave him off based on health, how do I rank Chris Olave? How do I rank Eric McCoy? How do I rank other guys that have missed games? And Rashid Shaheed's another one, and then it starts getting so messy to where I just went, all right. Talent-wise, like he's probably top 5. Like he's probably a top 5 player, but like I just found some type of equation, and I think I put him at like 10th or 11th on my list, and I hated it, and I don't even like having him on here because I don't know what he is right now, but I also can't have him off and feel good about the rest of the process without being extremely hypocritical for just completely sandbagging one of the most talented players on the team while letting Eric McCoy live in my top.
But
top 5.
I do feel like. We know Eric McCoy is going to start week 1 as one of the 3 most important players on the team. We know Chris Olave is going to start week 1 as one of the 3 most important players on the team. We don't know that about Taysom Hill. We don't know where he fits on this team. But you know what's funny
Taysom could retire tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I know.
Yeah.
Although it was good to see him at minicamp. Yeah. Like that was the most important step we've had yet. He plans to be a part of this team. It's also an indictment on the rest of the list. There used to be a pivot player for years. I started doing these lists, I think in 11, and I know you've been doing them on the site, and I can't remember how far back, but Thomas Morstead used to be Thomas Morstead was always Thomas Morstead, and depending on how good the team was, he was 18th, or he was 11th, or he was 13th, or he was 16th, because he was Thomas Morstead, and it was how many more guys rise above that line. Yeah. And Taysom should be 18th on this list. But this team doesn't have enough guys who deserved that top 10 spot. So he's kind of a placeholder too.
I wouldn't want Fuaga to be top 10, but I would feel better about the list, I think, if we flip those two right now.
Right. Can we make a change right now?
No, I mean, I think we leave them where they're at, but like, I don't know. Like something about
talking it out, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Taliese should be ahead of him, but I don't like Taliese as a top 10, but that's more of a indictment on the rest of the roster, I think, than anything else. But yeah, he's the toughest guy on this list. He has to exist somewhere. I just don't know where. I don't feel good about it. And then at the same time, I'm like, man, is like Granderson a better player than Taysom? Like when they're healthy, no, but Granderson plays.
Yeah. And that was a big thing for me. I had Granderson 6th. Like I didn't feel great about it. I actually had 5, 6, 7, and 8, and I could not decide the order of my 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I went with Granderson 6, and part of it was 34 games the last 2 years. That's huge. You know, probably led the defensive line in snaps over the last couple of years. I don't have that right in front of me. Obviously felt a lot better about him when he had the 8.5 sacks in 23 than when he fell back to 5.5 sacks last year. But everyone on this defensive line kind of disappointed last year compared to their potential. He's lost 10 pounds. I talked to him this offseason to play now as an edge guy in Brandon Staley's defense. I think he's a guy who will benefit from that for sure. I think Chase Young will benefit from that. Maybe Cam Jordan will benefit from that. I think Granderson definitely will. He arrived in the NFL as like a 260-pound guy who put on the weight to be a stout defensive end. He said he wanted to lose the 10 pounds to get back to having the motor that he had. He said he liked the strength he had last year, but he misses the motor he had when he had that breakout year in 2023. And so he is 28 years old. And I feel like he's a guy who there's not a ton of this guys where like, have he arrived yet? Are they on the backside of their career? He's a guy who's still in the center prime of his career. So I felt okay putting him 6th, even though I wish he was 12th. If you want to build a team, you want him to be, you don't want him in your top 10, but.
And then our number 8 player is Tyrann Mathieu. I still feel like Tyrann's one of the best playmakers on this team. That, you know, part of that's that a lot of these other guys don't create turnovers and interceptions, but he still does that at a very high clip. I think this type of defense is going to help him too. I think that he can jump some more routes in this type of defense. Your back isn't to the ball as much. You're kind of, everything's looking forward. I like his potential in it. You know, I do think that they need one of these young safeties to step up. Tyrann's probably only got a year or two left in you know, his career. But I still think he's somebody that's very firmly in this group, and he really is one of the signings that has really worked out for this team. And where he's at with the contract being redone and everything, the value for him, it feels really, really good. I do wonder if everything had played out differently, if he would want to be here. I think he would. I think it's bigger than football for him. He said that the other day, but you know, I kind of feel bad for him that he came here at the worst era of Saints football ever. But on the other hand, I think the Saints are lucky to have him because he's a good leader, a good personality, and I think with the young secondary, he's even more important right now because that group's trying to find an identity, and I think he's somebody that's going to help him set it.
And look, I said Granderson's played 17 games 2 years in a row. Tyron's played 17 games all 3 years since he's been with the Saints. So much great. You know what? The Saints affected my ranking here. He should probably be our number 5 guy, to be honest. I think he was number 5 last year. I'll look that up while we're talking. But the Saints shook my confidence a little bit. Like they asked him to take a pay cut. They immediately signed Justin Reed. They immediately draft Jonas Sanker. After he comes back from missing minicamp and OT, 3 weeks of OTAs like other veterans did, they put him in a pitch count and made him come in with the second team. Like maybe they're trying to light a fire. Maybe this is a motivational technique, but I don't know why he isn't getting DeMario Davis treatment. He's Tyrann freaking Mathieu. Like, why aren't they building their defense around him and what he can do instead of sort of making him look like he has to earn it? It's just a weird scenario right now that it's kind of like Taysom. I don't know how much they're building around Tyrann, but yeah, I mean, I kind of look at this list and feel like until we see him do anything different on the field, even though obviously he hasn't been 100% honey badger in his New Orleans era, I don't know that this next group of guys deserves to have passed him yet, now that I'm looking at the list.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the Get Gordon question of the day.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
If you're hungry and just want something that actually delivers on flavor, this is it. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just dropped some new menu items, and they're legit. The Philly cheesesteak po' boy is loaded up right, and the Philly pasta brings the same flavor, but in a new way. And don't skip the fried green tomatoes. Crispy, and that crawfish sauce is no joke. Open every day, delivering late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com.
Welcome to the Queen Casino, the crown jewel of entertainment destinations. From the thrill of gaming, where every spin and deal brings you closer to fortune, to the excitement of sports betting, where you can feel the rush of victory. Our spaces and catering menu are perfect for any event. From business meetings to grand celebrations, immerse yourself in our vibrant atmosphere with live music that keeps the party going all night long. Join us at the Queen Casino. Your royal adventure awaits.
Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Going back to Taysom Hill, question today is, what defines a successful season by Taysom? What do you want to see? What is it?
I used to, the last 6 years in a row, I would have sat in this chair and I would have said, give him 10 plus touches a game. And I would have said, like, that proves Pete Carmichael to me. That proves Clint Kubiak to me. That proves Sean Payton to me. Give this guy 10 plus touches a game. Make the defense stop it before you take the foot off the gas pedal. I don't feel that way now. I don't know what he is. They don't even have a fullback on the roster. I thought fullback was the best position he ever played, and now I don't think fullback exists. His locker is in between two other tight ends. He's a tight end on this team. They're not going to build their offense around him. Is he even going to be their short yardage runner? Will we see read option? Will we see QB power? God, I don't know, but I guess success is, I mean, you said earlier about Juwan Johnson, give me 4 for 40, 4 touches a game and 40 yards a game. That seems so easy for Taysom Hill to do. I guess he needs to at least do that to be better than Juwan Johnson, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Some type of material impact. I don't want weight placed on him though. I don't want them.
You want him to feel like a bonus?
Something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't want them to become reliant upon him, but I want him to contribute. And I don't know what the balance is with that. It probably goes back to what you were saying with Tyron. Like, I think Tyron, I even think DeMario to an extent. Like, I don't think that you should be, and look, it's impossible not to build around certain players that are out there, but I don't want the coaching staff to be looking at guys that aren't going to be here in 27 as like, these are the identity of the team, but I also want them all to be used in a way that makes sense. And I don't know what that balance is. I think that's probably the most difficult thing about the past and the present and the future and how they meld that all together. I don't know what it looks like, but I know Taysom exists somewhere in a very complicated place within that equation to where what they did last year, I think was right for where the team was, but it's wrong now. I don't think that should be the idea now.
I wouldn't say it's wrong if Taysom came in healthy and was here for all of OTAs and minicamp. Like, I think any brilliant offensive mind, like that was one of my favorite things about Clint Kubiak, is that he was like, no, duh, I get to play with this. I would have wanted to see Kellen Moore say the same thing, but you cannot count on him, especially coming off the injury. Yeah,
I think it's
and
different.
the age.
I don't disagree. Let me try to articulate my thought a little bit better. Like, I think for Kubiak it made sense, and for DA it made sense because those guys were trying to make something work and also keep their jobs.
Yeah.
And try to win 10 games or whatever. And I think that's still the goal. You're trying to win 10 games or whatever. But I think Kellen Moore is coming in absolutely clean slate. He's
totally
building
fair.
an offensive identity. And I think whatever he's
and Taysom
doing,
Hill's not going to be a part of that long term.
think
and there's no backup Taysom Hill who will play the Taysom Hill role when he's gone.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think whatever you are investing in that, in terms of, I'm going to spend all my time designing this, I want that to be designed for things that last. And like you just said, there isn't okay, we're going to build the run game around Alvin, and then Alvin retires, and you just go get another running back. And they probably won't be Alvin, but they'll at least be similar to, they're going to be a running back.
Yeah.
Like, if Taysom retires, what is it? You know, it isn't Tommy Stevens. Like, it isn't, you know.
He's still killing it in the CFL, Nick.
He is.
He's available.
He's making some plays, but I just feel like those, like, I want them to build their offense and have the little Taysom stuff over here. And, you know, that can be your 24-karat gold steak or whatever it is, but like, it can't be like the main menu item on top of it. So yeah, I just want to see that kind of come together, but that's going to do it for today's show. We will be back with the top 10 or the top 7 on Friday.